Welcome back to the Archive Network. Aurelius here, with Malik, curators of the Civilization Archive. We left Inca civilization last time, and as the Inca state stood unrivaled, it began to expand its vision. Today we pick up where we left off. As the early 15th century dawned, the Inca people stood at a crucial moment. The Valley of Cusco, once a patchwork of rival islas, began to unify. This was not mere happenstance. Under Pachacuti, the Incas transformed from highland chiefdom to a burgeoning empire. His leadership was vital, igniting a collective identity that propelled them into action.
Pachacuti's rise wasn't just a response to external threats. It was a transformation of vision. The Inca identity evolved, but it came at a cost. Those rival islasi were communities, not mere statistics. Their unification meant the suppression of local autonomy, which often sparked resentment. This wasn't just consolidation. It was the birth of a new order, imposed rather than chosen.
Faced with the threat of Chanca invaders, the Incas rallied together in a remarkable display of unity. They fought fiercely and decisively, and that marked the beginning of their transformation as a powerful civilization. Victory on the battlefield was crucial. It wasn't just about survival. It laid the very foundation for their expanding empire. By confronting their enemies head-on, they turned imminent danger into a springboard for greatness. That's the essence of empire building. It's about seizing opportunities when they arise.
But that victory came at a human cost. Those soldiers weren't just warriors. They were families torn apart. The narrative often glorifies conquest while ignoring the lives affected. The Inca expansion may have seemed inevitable, but it was a series of deliberate choices. Each campaign crafted a new reality for the people involved, and many were left behind in the name of progress.
Pachacuti wasted no time asserting dominance over neighboring polities. Military campaigns were organized with precision. The Inca state harnessed the MADA system, compelling labor and military service from conquered communities. Roads paved with finely dressed stone facilitated these campaigns. An efficient army allows for swift expansion, but it also reveals the underlying structure of power.
That efficiency came with a cost as well. The MADA system was a tool of oppression, compelling communities to serve a regime that did not represent them. It wasn't just about military prowess. It was about coercion. The Inca state expanded its borders, yes, but it also cultivated resentment. Those who resisted faced brutal consequences, including punitive expeditions.
Centralization was achieved through a careful blend of force and diplomacy. Newly subdued territories were reorganized into provinces, known as suyos, and governed by officials sent from Cusco. This structure ensured loyalty to the Sapa Inca Dada. Tribute flowed steadily into the capital, with every grain and artifact meticulously recorded. We can see that the strength of the Inca Empire lay not just in conquest, but in its remarkable ability to integrate diverse cultures and enforce control across vast distances.
But what about the voices of those local leaders? Sure, some curacas retained power, but at what cost? Their oaths of allegiance bound them to a system that often exploited their people. The records you mention, they only tell part of the story. Beneath the surface, resistance simmered as people grappled with their loss of autonomy. Not every community accepted their place within this new order.
The construction of the Cohapac Ñan, the Royal Road Network, was a monumental achievement that linked distant provinces to the very heart of the empire. This system didn't just facilitate swift communication. It enabled rapid troop movement across vast territories. With strategically placed way stations and agile relay runners, the empire could respond to threats in a matter of days. Effective communication is truly the backbone of enduring power. Without it, an empire risks losing its grip on control and influence.
But there's a danger in relying solely on infrastructure. The road may connect, but it can also divide. It becomes a tool of control rather than just a means of communication. The expansion of the empire wasn't just about connecting territories. It was about asserting dominance. Communities along the Cohapac Ñan had their lives transformed, often not for the better.
The plazas of Cusco transformed into administrative hubs, marketplaces, and storage facilities. The city's architecture reflected its growing power. Massive stone palaces and temples, like the Coricancha, spoke of both spiritual devotion and wealth amassed through conquest. This golden age cultivated a sense of pride, but also a facade. Power can blind one to the cracks beneath.
You mentioned pride, but what about the hidden struggles that often go unnoticed? The inclusion of diverse ethnic groups required careful navigation and constant balancing. Policies like the Mitma, relocating entire populations, were not just strategic. They were desperate attempts to prevent rebellion. These weren't acts of kindness. They were calculated moves to maintain control. Even as the vibrant markets of Cusco thrived, they masked deeper tensions simmering beneath the surface, tensions that could erupt at any moment, affecting countless lives.
As the Inca state stood unrivaled, it began to expand its vision. Sapa Inca was revered as a living child of the sun. His authority extended across mountains and valleys. However, the very institutions that brought strength also sowed the seeds of internal strain. What challenges awaited this empire in its golden age? History often reveals unforeseen consequences.
That's where we leave it this time. Inca civilization continues. The story isn't finished yet. Find the full series on the Civilization Archive, part of the Archive Network. We'll be back with the next chapter.